Alright guys, welcome to the channel. We know what happened. Game 5 ended not that long ago, so we're gonna do our part 2 to my first tier list. We're gonna see what changed, who got better, who got worse. Was I right, was I wrong? And we're also gonna see how the rest of the season should go for these teams. And this should be interesting, you know, because Dark Green, they blew up their roster, Lime blew up their roster about 2 or 3 times, and then both Red and Sky made roster changes. So without further ado, let's get into the video.
Nah, for real. They be talking tough, but they won't get up in that field. ARPs and 223s get hit up in your grill. Iron on me like I'm Tony, like an orange eye pill. Come and get your shorty, cause she tryna cop a feel.
Well, you know the drill. I'm going to do the order of every team based on where they are on the spreadsheet. So it's going to be Lime on the left side, Sky on the right, and everybody in the middle. So yeah, first off is Lime. I'm going to put Lime in the mid tier. They blew the roster like 3 times. And then after the third time of blowing up the roster with War's captain, they did pretty good. They got 3rd place at the last game in game 4. But then game 5 just happened today. They got like 1% and they barely avoided getting wiped. So what I get from that is that they're not fundamentally sound. They're ego rushing, they're getting killed for it. And they have a leadership play because there are no good experienced players in the team. So yeah, they seem to be pretty hit or miss. I'm going to say they're in the mid tier because they have potential to be really good, but not consistent. And I think they're like 70 points down from Red at this point. So they're definitely not good enough to make a deep run. Get anywhere close to the top 3 for that matter. Next up is Dark Green. I'm going to put Dark Green in the mid tier above Lime. Now after game 4 they were pretty interesting because they got 1st place. They barely hung on to the middle to get 1st place. And they were 2nd place, which is surprising for the talent and the roster they had. I was going to say they're consistent. If they kept it up for like a game or 2, I was going to put them in Dark Horse tier, but that didn't happen. They blew up their roster. They dropped Jubear. CS went to purple. They dropped Encourage. And then Clutch got banned and Hamza also got banned. I think Wiven's also banned, but he's still rostered. And I don't know if he's playing or not, but let's assume he's not banned since he's rostered right now. But after real changes, they added Zaste, they added Mimes, and they added One Shot. But then Zaste joined Red, and not only Mimes and One Shot are still there. So yeah, they're both 2 good players, but they're not really good enough to replace all the talent they lost. However, the Dark Green's still a decent team. Definitely not gonna win anything, but they're still a middle of the pack team. And for that reason, put them in the mid tier above Lime. Now we have Red. I can't say enough good things about them. They generally look unbeatable. They're ahead of their 2nd place competition by like 20 points, I want to say. I don't know, TOs suck they don't update the sheet. But yeah, they're ahead of their 2nd place competition by around 20 points. They never got out top 3 during the entire season so far, and they got 1st place 3 times. They did make some changes though. Zane went to Sky, so did a mini Dilly. And then they added Carndy after the team now signed to as their vice captain. In terms of their talent, Zane was good for sure, but they still have a really good team around them. And Carnage is the best IGL in the entire game. So yeah, they did lose a bit of talent, but I think Carnage's IGL skills and the good team that they have around them in general definitely make up for that. So yeah, Reds get contenders. I think at this rate's a foregone conclusion they win this season. Now we have Orange. I'm just cut to the chase here. They're going into the Pro Landons here. I mean, they're nothing going for Orange. Their only good builders are like Sandy and Best Namis. Their highest and the worst in the game since like season 5. And they can't place above 5th place to save their life. And like after game 4, was it? Like after that, I took the average place in every team, and Orange was below Lime. And Lime blew up their roster at least 3 times, and Orange was below them. After this game, because Lime got wiped, Orange got above them, but barely. So yeah, now let's just say with Orange, they're just a horrible team with horrible players, and they're in the Palandid tier. Next up is Purple. I'm gonna put Purple in the Dark Horse tier. Like last time I did this list, they're pretty interesting. For a while, they seemed like a middle of the pack team. Then in the last game, they got like 2nd place, like right behind Sky, and they're still very close to Sky. Actually, they're ahead of Sky by 5 points. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. Even when they were both ass like early in the season, Purple's like right next to Sky in terms of their points, like either 5 points up or 5 points down, based on how the game went, of course. And yeah, honestly, I think they could have a season like they did in season 9. Yeah, season 9 where they just took advantage of Ren Sky fighting. They actually got ahead and they won the season. So yeah, they play like a middle of the pack team. They look like one, but I'm going to put them in the Dark Horse tier because it's possible they have S10 repeat. Now, will Sky make the mistake of ignoring them again? Probably not. Will Red make the same mistake? Probably not, but I wouldn't put it past either of them to make that mistake. So yeah, see him Dark Horse tier. Let's move on over to Sky. Last but not least, you have Sky Blue. I'm gonna put Sky Blue in the Dark Horse tier behind Purple. Now in head-to-head with Purple, they obviously win that, and they're better team than Purple. But again, like I said with Purple, they could have repeated S9, where they're in like a dark situation. They throw away the season of Purple, so trying to fight for their position. And yeah, honestly, I wouldn't put it past either Red or Sky, like I said earlier, to just give away the season of Purple, or neglect Purple while they're fighting it out. With Sky, here's the thing with Sky. Their fundamentals were pretty bad. That's why they got like 5th place early in the season. But now they have Zane, and they have Mini Dilly. Now Zane is an okay IGL. It's better than all people that were on Sky before. He's definitely not the best in the game. He's enough to make them better, but not better than Red. So all teams are in contention to dethrone Red. It's Sky and it's Purple. Kind of Dark Green, but not really. Just that Dark Green got really early lead, like they always do. Get back on point. Sky is probably the best of those 3 teams I mentioned. And I really think that the only way they don't get close to Red is if they keep getting dragged down by Purple, or Red doesn't get double teamed, which is unlikely. So yeah, early season was pretty one-sided, but late season should be really interesting. It's really going to be a 3-team league between red, of course, sky, and then purple. Both have a pretty good chance of winning. I'd say purple is the highest chance because they might get around like they did in S9 and have another free win. After that is red. They're like the best team in the game by far. And barring a double team, they should win pretty easily. And then there's sky. With Zane's IGL, he's smarter than Ascent, smarter than Wave, smarter than Lukey. So they should have a decent chance, but not as high as like purple or red, of course. Well, there you have it. I think it should be pretty accurate, but it's at least anything could happen. Anything could go wrong. Anyone could get banned suddenly. Get caught with like 5 or 10 ults. But barring that, this should be pretty accurate and a pretty like straightforward into the season. 3 contenders. We're getting double team for a bit. We'll see how the rest of the season goes. Average noob out.